In this lesson, you'll learn everything about Competency 7 for the fourth descriptive statement, which reads, the beginning teacher selects and uses instructional strategies, materials, and activities to help students use English writing conventions like grammar, capitalization, and punctuation in connected discourse. In other words, for your exam, we need to make sure that we understand how to pick and use teaching methods and materials to help students properly use grammar, capital letters, and punctuation when writing full sentences or paragraphs. Without further ado, let's jump into this exciting lesson. In the realm of teaching English language arts, we cannot overlook the significance of mastering the conventions of writing. These conventions include grammar, punctuation, and capitalization, and they form the foundation of coherent and compelling written communication. In order to learn how to meet the needs of this exam standard, you're going to want to walk through the actual strategies, materials, and activities of real lessons that would help students achieve the use of English writing conventions in connected discourse. If you're ready, let's do this together. Beginning with teaching a grammar lesson. We're going to call this grammar story chain. Our materials will include index cards with specific grammar rules based on lesson needs, student journals, pens or pencils. Now, let's talk about how you might create a grammar activity with these materials. The activity is to begin with discourse, use the importance of sentences or paragraphs in a text with the students, and then elicit answers from what they already know. Next, hand out one index card for each student. This card will have a specific grammar rule or English writing convention that they must adhere to in their writing. They shouldn't reveal the rule to their friends sitting next to them. And then start the story. Write the beginning sentence of a story on the board. It should be open-ended to allow for various directions in the narrative. Then ask the first student to add a sentence to the story, ensuring that they adhere to the grammar rule on their picked card. Move on to the next student to continue the story, and so on and so forth. Now we have peer review. After a few rounds, or when the story reaches a natural pause, ask the students to swap their writing with their neighbors. Each student should try to identify the grammar rule or convention that their friend was using. Discussion. Don't forget to discuss what the students have just done. Go over the story sentences as a class. Discuss the grammar rules applied and how they helped or sometimes challenged the flow of the narrative. Encourage students to share any sentences that they found particularly effective or, interestingly, difficult for them to understand or create. Then, depending on class size and time, you can start a new story or continue the existing one, possibly rotating grammar cards for added challenge. End the lesson with reflection on using the importance of using proper grammar in maintaining the flow and clarity of a sentence or any piece of writing. This activity fosters creativity, collaborative storytelling, and the practical application of grammar rules within the context of creating a coherent and connected narrative. Notice here how whether you're teaching grammar, capitalization, punctuation, or other English writing conventions, this instructional strategy could be applied and would be considered a successful lesson for the following reasons. We selected and used instructional strategies, materials, and activities to help students use English writing conventions. Next, the framework included is setup, introduction, mechanics, checking, a conclusion, and a reflection. Feeling anxious about taking the TExES core subjects exam? Click the link in the description below to get prepared faster, smarter, better, with everything you need to pass all in one place, so you can celebrate your passing score and become a certified teacher with teacherpreps.com.